this bitch got the water again. This bitch is calling me Aquaman. I got a phone number, calling again. Calling again. Calling again. Benjis on Benjis on Benjis again. That's all I've been on since you got with him. Ain't been the same since. I wanna save my pain. You know it's.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. As you guys could tell by today's video, we will be meal prepping 2 delicious meals. The first meal that I will be showing you guys is the honey jerk salmon, and then the second one will be steak fajitas. Both of these meals are very delicious. Trust me, you guys have to try it. They're also high protein and low calories, which is perfect for the girls who are trying to build muscle and lose weight. And I know it's the new year, so it's just always good to just know, more recipes and just do better health-wise. And if you guys enjoyed this video a lot, please let me know in the comment section down below, because I might even make it into like a new series on my channel, maybe like a cooking series, something similar to that. Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So all of the ingredients that I used came from Wegmans, which is pretty much just my local grocery store. And the first thing that I started off with was just I believe this was like a 10 ounce or an 8 ounce of Atlantic salmon. I will say the salmon piece that I used specifically was not very good cooking wise. When I cooked it, as you guys can see later in the video, like the salmon broke off into a lot of pieces instead of staying as a whole. My next ingredient I used was olive oil. If you guys want to be a little bit healthier, I would recommend just getting avocado oil. Works the same, just a little bit healthier. Next, I have the Island Jerk seasoning. This was my second time using this seasoning, and I think it worked pretty good. This was another jerk seasoning that I specifically used for the sauce. And let me tell you guys, this mess has some kick. Be very careful when you use it because it's strong and spicy. And we have some onion powder as well as some garlic powder to season the salmon. Don't forget to get your minced garlic, which I also use to season the salmon, as well as some honey. Does not matter what type of honey you use or the brand. This one is actually just the Weiss brand. This is just some regular white rice. If you want to be a little bit healthier, I guess you could use something like yellow rice or maybe even whole grain rice. And I chose broccoli to use as a vegetable for this, but you could really use whatever vegetable that you want, as well as some unsalted butter. I'm not sure why I forgot to hold up the lemon, but you will also need half of a lemon for this recipe as well. I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking the rice first because it takes the longest, and since I have a rice cooker, it's really easy to just put it aside and cook everything else while it's going. And pretty much the rule of thumbs for cooking rice is, depending on the amount of cups of rice you use, you want to even the amount of cups of water. So the ratio would just be 1 to 1. This number 1, you want to wash it completely until the water is clear. You don't want to see any cloudiness coming from the water. That is all starch, which makes the rice more sticky. And I'm just gonna let this rice sit here for about 30 minutes. Okay, now for the salmon, I'm going to just cut the salmon into like small portions, but my pieces are pretty small. I would say maybe about 2 ounces. And then you're going to want to take a piece of paper towel and pat dry the salmon on both sides. So go ahead and put all of the salmon pieces into a bowl, and then we should be ready to start our seasonings. Just like I said before, for the seasonings, I'm gonna just go ahead and put the jerk seasoning in the smaller can, as well as onion powder, garlic powder, and I think I used minced garlic as well here. just want to spread the seasoning all over the salmon and just make everything evenly coated. Want to turn the oven onto like a medium heat, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of olive oil into the pan, and you just want to place each piece of salmon onto the pan. Just make sure that they're all laying flat and not overlapping. You guys also want to make sure you guys are moving the salmon pieces quite often, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. And this is when things started messing up a little bit. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think it was just the cut of salmon that I have, but I noticed that when I was cooking it, it kind of broke off into small pieces, which is fine. It's definitely gonna taste the same. Now let's get into the honey jerk glaze. You're gonna start off with a pretty decent size of butter, and honestly I think I might have put a little too much butter. The piece that I use is way too big. You do not have to use that much. I'm also gonna go in with the jerk seasoning. You also want to add the honey, and for this, you know, just taste it here and there. If you think it needs more honey, add more honey. If you want it to be more spicy, obviously just add some more of the jerk seasoning. For me, I definitely like my stuff more on the sweeter side, so I added some extra honey at the end. Okay, so then you want to cut your lemon into 1/2. As you guys could tell, I'm starting by rolling the lemon, and I believe that just makes it easier for like the juices and stuff to come out. Not quite sure, but I know you're supposed to. So, and make sure you are careful when you're squeezing the lemon into the sauce, because you don't want any seeds inside. Okay, you guys, we are almost done. Right now I'm just pretty much laying out all of the pieces of salmon onto this little plate. You pretty much just want to take the sauce and dab it onto the salmon. Try your best to just evenly coat each piece of salmon with the sauce. You'll be cooking the salmon again at 350 degrees for approximately 10 minutes. Now it is time to cook the broccoli. Honestly, you guys, I don't know what type of pot this is called, but it's the one that has the holes at the bottom. I'm just gonna go ahead and place the broccoli inside of that pot. Make sure you guys rinse off the broccoli over just like some water for a couple seconds. So I'm just gonna place a pot on the stove at a very high heat, because you want the water to boil completely. After about 15 minutes, the broccoli should be done, and you can tell when the broccoli is done when the fork goes all the way through it, like softly. As you guys can tell, it did not go through softly, so I put it on for like another 5 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this vegetable seasoning and use a pretty decent amount onto it. By decent, I mean a lot. I also used some seasoning salts on it as well, just to make it a little bit saltier. Don't use too much though. You guys, this looks so good. I had to go in and take a little bite. And that is it for the first meal prep. It's so delicious, spicy but still sweet, and just overall perfect for a meal prep. Let's go ahead and get straight into the ingredients of the second meal prep. So you will first need, this is just the beef ribeye. It's a little bit of a different type of meat for steak tacos, but it still tasted really good for this. Then you will need some olive oil. Like I said before, you can always substitute that for avocado oil. Then I have some salt, as well as some garlic powder, onion powder, and ground pepper. You will also need some salted butter for this recipe. and some fajita seasoning mix. Now for the tortillas, if you want to be a little bit healthier, I know they have low carb tortillas. You will also need an onion. I think I used a whole onion, but you probably only need half, as well as some avocados, which mine are already cut. And lastly, some cilantro. So I'm starting off by cutting both ends of the onion and then cutting vertically on its side. And yes, you guys, I am still a beginner at cooking, so please do not cut your onion this way. It's very dangerous. Just cut it on the actual like flat surface. We will be cutting the onion in vertical strips. Go ahead and place all of the pieces into a bowl and set aside for now. So about this meat, I would not recommend getting this cut of beef for the steak tacos. I definitely chose the wrong thing, so just get whatever you think would be best. Time to season. I am using garlic powder, onion powder, the ground pepper, and then a little bit of salt. Go ahead and give it a good mix, and then we're gonna get the stove ready on medium heat. So I'm starting off by putting a little bit bigger than a quarter size amount of olive oil into the pan. Go ahead and cook the onions down until they get a little bit brown in color. And just like I said before, go ahead and put them aside for now. Now for cooking the meat, I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil inside the pan. I'm gonna just stop talking because the sizzling sound is so satisfying. So here's a little ASMR. So once it is done cooking, you just want to go ahead and put the onions in. I put way too much, so I ended up taking some out. Then we are going to add our fajita seasoning and then give it a good mix a couple times. Go ahead and transfer all of the meat and onions into a separate bowl. And then put a little bit of butter into the pan. And we're just going to toast the tortilla up a little bit on both sides. And then you can place them aside as well. Now for the cilantro, this is pretty easy. You just want to take off the leaves. And then you're going to want to scrunch them up and then cut them like normal. I cut them a couple times so they could be smaller pieces. And this is pretty much what my setup looks like. I'm just putting everything together. This is pretty much the end. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, this was a lot different for me, but let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see more content like this. Yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Until I can't feel no more pain. Pull me